Hi, hello, how are you? Here is your customary second video. Um, yeah, after I do Am I the Asshole, I usually post a second video, right? Today, let's take a look at dating advice because we haven't been there in a little while, and I managed to find some which were a little bit different to ones that we've looked at in the past. So let's take a look here. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Why have I got. Huh. Okay, sorry, I was just changing something on my browser there. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. Met a girl at a coffee shop. I, 27-year-old male, was at the mall today shopping for some new clothes and socks when I saw this insanely beautiful girl in her mid-20s walk past me. I was instantly attracted to her. I saw that she had gone into the coffee shop across the way. I never drink coffee, but I just really wanted to talk to her and see if I could spark a conversation. I ordered something random from the menu and I saw her sitting alone in the corner eating a banana bread and drinking an iced coffee. As I was waiting for my drink, we briefly made eye contact and I took that as a sign that it was okay to approach her. When I got my drink, I went over to her table and asked if it was okay to join her. She smiled and said sure. We instantly started chatting. I told her that I thought she was cute and that the only reason I came in here was to talk to her, which made her laugh. She told me that she was here to get her nails done by her friend and that she actually lives 30 minutes away. We also talked about our careers and how we were both in healthcare. She also told me that she was going out tonight with some of her friends. After about 5 minutes of talking, I told her that I had to go, but that I would love to get her number. She said yes and put the number in herself, and then I texted her my name and she immediately saved my contact. I told her that it was very nice to meet her and that I would text her. I know I'm overthinking this, but when should I text her? Should I wait until tomorrow since she said she is going out tonight? Or is it okay to just send a text now saying, hey, it was really nice meeting you today? It's not an unreasonable question. I like that you're thinking about, hey, she's got plans for later tonight already. Maybe like don't want to bother her or whatever. If it were me, I would wait until I got home later. So I wouldn't like walk out of the coffee shop and instantly message her. But I would wait until I got home later and say, hey, it was great meeting you today. Hope you have a good night out tonight. Stay safe or something like that. You know, to be like, yeah, I'm here. I'm happy to have a conversation with you, but also I know you're busy later. Or something like, or you could even just like not text her that day. Like let her get on with whatever her business is. And then the next day say, hey, it was great meeting you yesterday. Did you have a good night out? I think maybe that's the one to go for because then it like asks the question. Whereas the first one is kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it can also be good to say, like, to send a message that's like either you can reply or it's also okay if you don't reply because I'm not directly asking you something. That can also be good, especially when you're not sure, like, what the other person's reaction is going to be. But I think in this case where you're clearly wanting to initiate something and there's not been any chance yet for things to get weird, I think the one to go for is, yeah, like text her tomorrow and be like, hey, it was great meeting you yesterday. Did you have a good night out? Yeah. Cool. What's the next one? Girl I went out with had a boyfriend. Last month, I met this girl on a dating app. Her intentions were to just hook up and I abided. I asked if he was single. I asked if she was single and she said yes. I met up with her and midway through sex, I saw a message on her phone saying, baby, I miss you. She stopped me, replied to the message knowing that I saw it, and then continued. How do you even continue in that situation? Are you not just completely thrown off by then? And like, no offense, but was it so good that as soon as the phone went off, your like immediate response was to check your phone? Anyway, I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't have even looked at the phone, but whatever. Maybe it was good that you saw it. Anyway, fast forward to this week. I found her boyfriend on social media and told him what happened, then apologised. 10 minutes later, she texted me, how dare you, you've ruined my life. I didn't respond and blocked her. I know what I did was the right thing, but I don't know why I feel bad for telling him. I know it was none of my business, but I would have wanted someone to tell me if my girlfriend cheated on me too. I guess I want some outside perspective on the situation. Should I have just kept it to myself or did I do the right thing? Edit 1, just want to say thank you to everyone who replied. I never knew this topic would be so polarising. I firmly believe I did the right thing despite some of the hate comments. There seems to be a lot of assumptions going on, so I'm going to clarify some parts to make things clearer. When we agreed to hook up, she wanted to meet during the middle of the day at her dorm. It wasn't at night. When I first met her in person, we were talking for about 5 minutes until she told me to speed things up and get to the dirty. A few minutes later, she gets a call from someone, but I didn't see who it was, and she claimed it was her cousin calling her as we transitioned positions from... Okay, so she's on her phone twice while you're doing the deed? How can you even focus? Like, how can you even be like, yeah, that's fine, like, we're fucking trying to be intimate and you won't get off your phone? That would totally put me off. But anyway, claimed it was her cousin calling her, and we transitioned positions from missionary to doggy. She reached over to her phone, arched her back, and then started texting again. Out of curiosity, I peeked down, and that's when I saw the messages from her boyfriend. I was already too far in to stop. The damage was done, and I left right after we finished. I think there you're trying to like act as if you've got the moral high ground there, but I don't think I could understand if you would be like, by then I was kind of in shock, I didn't know what to do, so I just continued. I just went along with it because that was like what was happening. But to be like, well, the damage is already done, I might as well get mine, like, nah, I don't agree with that. Anyway, I didn't know her full name. She was using a nickname on the dating app, but before I left, I asked her what her real name was, and she told me with the express purpose of hunting down her boyfriend. 2 weeks later, she hits me up again to fuck. This time, I did not go through with it, and that's when I originally found her social media account, which was private at the time. A couple days ago, I looked her up again and saw she went public, which is how I found out about her boyfriend, as they had spent the weekend together and she had pictures of him throughout her account. I hope this clears up some of the details. I didn't think I would have to go into detail, but too many people are listening. Yeah, so basically what had happened was, you met this girl on the dating app, she's like, yo, I just want to get down to it, let's fuck. She can't focus on it for some reason, she's on her phone like 2, 3, 4 times during. You're seemingly okay with that, whatever, until the point where you realise, hey, this bitch got a boyfriend, too bad, I'm gonna finish anyway. Then you leave, you're like, hey, what's your real name? Not that I want to use it for anything. Then you leave, and it wasn't until a couple of weeks later where she hit you up again that then you were like, okay. So it's not as if like you did your thing and then immediately left to go hunt this guy down. You thought that it was going to be a nothing thing, like never again. She contacted you again. You're like, no, because I know you have a boyfriend, and I'm curious, out of curiosity, let me check your social media. Oh, you definitely have a boyfriend. I'm not feeling so good about this. I'm gonna tell him. That's basically what happened here, right? I'm kind of like, I think it would always be the right thing to do to tell the person. I don't think that's ever the wrong thing to do, because I do think that, you know, morally you've kind of, yeah, it's not your business, but they've made it your business because they've then made you the person that they're cheating with. Therefore, you are now involved. Sorry, if they didn't want you to be involved, then they shouldn't have fucking cheated on their partner with you. Do you know what I mean? However, people like to shoot the messenger. People don't like others like coming into the relationship. People don't like to know the truth about stuff. People, yeah, whatever. And then of course the perpetrator, the person who cheated, is all like thinking they've got a right to be upset at you as if they weren't the one that was cheating in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So I do think that you're in the right. What was the question? Oh, there wasn't a question. They just wanted some outside perspective. For me, when I've been like in a situation where, for example, right, someone I used to go to school with, I'm sitting on the train, right, I'm come back from a client's place or whatever, I'm sitting on the train, like minding my own business. Someone I used to go to school with sends me an unsolicited picture of their banana, okay? I'm fucking in a public train. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, like not want that coming up on my phone, unsolicited as I say. That person had only added me on social media like a couple days or weeks before, I can't remember. But I saw that they were married. So straight away I'm like, does your wife know that you're sending women these kinds of pictures, to which he like apologised and whatever. And I was honestly like, should I tell this person? Because if that were me, if I was fucking married to someone and they were sending like pictures of their junk to other people without us having this type of relationship where that would be okay, like an open relationship or whatever, do you know what I mean? Like I would want to know that. I would not be okay with that. I would want to know. But as I say, a lot of the time that can backfire on you. You can become like the baddie or whatever in that situation. So I can see it from both sides, but I don't think that what you did here was wrong. But I'm not surprised that there's mixed responses. Not surprised about that at all. Next. What to do next after being rejected? Probably leave them alone. 2 days ago, I, 23-year-old male, had just expressed my feelings towards her in a long message after going back from our second date. I guess it was more of a friendly date, but I fell for her quickly. Anyways, she said we could just stay as friends. I haven't been in a relationship for quite some time, and she made me feel things that I haven't felt since. Anyway, the point is, I have turned to the internet and I seek advice for what I can do to tackle this. I do not intend to give up on the idea of being with her. You should. You absolutely 100% should. But I'm guessing there are healthier ways to deal with this. Feel free to be as honest as possible. I want this to at least be a learning experience for me moving forward. Thanks in advance. This person has told you they are not interested in being in a relationship with you and that you can just be friends. Saying, I do not intend to give up on the idea of being with her, that is where all kinds of bad things start. People not taking no for an answer. This is not okay. She's made her feelings about the situation clear. Leave her alone. This is the kind of person where if I'd found out that that was the way you felt, I wouldn't even want to be friends with you, because that's just not going to be a safe situation to be in, where I've told someone no and they're like, I'm not going to give up. And I've talked about this in the past, like the way that like TV and film and social media and all this kind of stuff will make out as if that's like, oh, that's so romantic, he's not going to give up. Like, oh, like, no, that's not romantic. That's fucking disrespectful. It's going into like stalker, abuser territory. Like, as I say, all kinds of bad things start from this kind of attitude. So cut that shit out. Leave her alone. Don't say anything to her. Don't turn up at her house. Don't anything except leave her alone. I'm very clear on this. Next. He said I'm pretty, but I don't think it was a compliment. What does he mean? Are you looking too much into this? Let's find out. Okay, so I just need some advice or an answer. Something, because it's been 8 months and this is still keeping you up at night. I was staying the night at a guy's house and he picked me up from work. I get in the shower, so of course the makeup comes off. I don't wear a full face, but I do wear mascara, liner and lip gloss. Sometimes concealer, but not if I'm working. Anyway, when I got done, I sat down while he made dinner. We were talking and then out of nowhere he says, "You're actually really pretty." I asked him what he means by actually pretty and if he expected me to be butt ugly or something. He said no, and that I just looked like my pictures. I mean, this was the first time we hung out, so all the photos he saw of me were on my Instagram. Now, here's why I don't know if he meant it in a good way or a bad way. I use a smoothing filter on my photos sometimes, like when I just want to take a selfie for my story and I'm in bare face. It's a blurring filter and it really just removes my eye bags from existence. So I don't know if he meant that I look like my pictures because I'm pretty, or I don't actually look like my pictures because he was pointing out subtly. I know it sounds confusing, but the way he said, "You just look like your pictures," did not sound like a compliment. Anyway, someone out here, did he mean I'm pretty or did he mean I look so drastically different from my photos? I think you're looking far too much fucking into this. I think it's probably either like he's the type of guy who just throws in the word "actually" into stuff. So what he meant was "you're really pretty," but it came out "you're actually really pretty," but that actually wasn't like as opposed to. It was just something that he said. Or he maybe has had experiences in the past where after meeting the person they didn't look like their pictures, so he was like, "Oh, you are actually pretty." Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's something to be concerned about, honestly. And still thinking about it after 8 months. maybe that's something you should take a little bit of a look at, because I don't think that should still be bothering you. I take it you're not still seeing him to be able to ask him, but yeah, that's a really long time. Honestly, don't think that much about it. Don't like put so much worth or energy into what somebody else thinks of your appearance. If you think that you look nice, if you're happy with the way that you are, that's all that matters, really. Okay? Obviously, it's nice if other people think you also look nice, but at the end of the day, what's more important is how you feel about yourself. Next. Girl blocked me after a week of not talking for no reason, but was there? I matched the girl on Bumble about 3 weeks ago and we had a lot of things in common. We switched to Instagram and started talking every day there constantly for 2 weeks and had the same energy texting. She did mention she wanted to eventually switch to phone calling, but I hesitated and said I'd prefer texting on Instagram. Additionally, she kept saying that she was way out of my league. Oh, and that I deserve better. Way out of your league usually means that they think that they're above you, but whatever, phrasing. And that I deserve better, to which I was confused about. Then last Friday, out of the blue, she just stopped talking. It was strange because usually she let me know what's going on in case things got busy. This past Wednesday, I messaged her asking how she's doing and was curious to what happened. She didn't bother to see the message until today, and then I realised I was blocked. This fucking stings, and I was hurt because before she ghosted me, she said she finds me attractive, enjoys our conversations, but she keeps thinking I didn't like her romantically. However, she was okay with us talking as friends. I'll be honest, I didn't think too much about all this since it was still the talking stage, but I don't know. I guess to her, it didn't seem like I was super interested in her in the beginning, and she did want to phone call, but I didn't oblige. I asked my best friend, and he literally said the girl was just saying all these things to hype me up, and then suddenly ghosted me to let my guard down. She then blocked me as a power move. As a form of rejection since I didn't show super interest in her. He also mentioned that she is most likely talking to other guys and didn't want to be confrontational. She didn't care enough to let me know that she's not interested, and honestly, that sounds a lot more reasonable. I also still have her on Bumble and I was thinking of messaging her there, but my friend said I was probably wasting my time and she's going to block me there too. It sucks because I thought this potential match would lead to somewhere, but I guess not. So it's discouraging because I'm having such a hard time finding matches in general on dating apps. This sucks and I can't sleep since I'm thinking about this. How long was this? So you met her on Bumble about 3 weeks ago and you were talking a lot for 2 weeks. I think your friend is fucking looking too much into this. It's not that like, oh my god, like women are so evil, they like, oh, they think that they've got all the power and they just want to raise you up so they can put you like, no. Like, what it's either going to be is that you did or said something that actually was not cool and she can't be fucked confronting you about it because this kind of shit happens all the time and she can't be bothered with your bullshit. Or she fucking met somebody else and they're the type of person who, or either they or she is the type of person who doesn't want like each other to be speaking to anybody else because that's like somehow a threat. So she blocked you because of that. Or she's just one of these fucking people who will ghost for no particular reason. Those people exist too, but I think it's very unlikely that she purposefully built you up just so she could knock you down. And like, I think there's always going to be some people that behave in ways that like you don't expect or understand or find reasonable, but I don't think it's likely that this was what happened, honestly. So what can I say to this from personal experience? I've definitely had people who did or said something that I was like, that's not cool and I shouldn't be the one to teach you, I can't be fucked with this. And then I'm away. Usually I try and be like, what was that about? Like, what do you mean? Like, try and clarify the situation. Usually I try and like, figure out what's going on. But sometimes people just do or say stuff that's just so obvious that it's like, no, that's not cool. I've also been in situations where someone is too fucking clingy and is not getting the idea that I am not their personal caretaker. I am not there to give them like 100% of my attention, 100% of my time. Do you know what I mean? People who are just too fucking much, just want to talk to you all the time, who send you every thought that's gone into your head and you're like, bitch, I've been talking to you for 2 days. then again, it's like, you're being too much, you're like giving me stalker vibes, get away from me, and then I'll just like block them because it's too fucking much. I would agree, don't message her on Bumble, but not because of whatever it was that your friend said. I think I messaged her, blah blah blah. She's going to block, because you're wasting your time, she's going to block you there anyway. I would say, sure, whilst that is true, I don't think that's the primary reason for not messaging her there. The primary reason would be she's already sent you a very clear message that she doesn't want to have contact with you anymore. So it's not going to be helpful to then find another way to then talk to her. That's also happened to me before, where I've been like, nope, this is too fucking much, you need to get away from me, leave me alone. And then they'll like find some other route and message me there. Be like, oh hey, you blocked me, what's going on, what's happening? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. This is the reason why I blocked you. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, if people give you clear communication that they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to have contact with you, accept that, okay? Don't then try and find other ways to wheedle into their lives. Don't be like, I'm not accepting that we're not going to talk, or I'm not giving up on the thought of being like, no, leave people alone. This is very, very important. I don't know why people don't get this. Next one. What to do after messed up potential relationship. Hey, I'm really down, I don't know what to do, and I don't have a lot of good people to go to for advice. I matched with this dude I'll call S a while ago, but we had all the same interests, had the same views, and he was incredibly handsome. We talked a lot for 3 weeks, got a little deep, and we're going to meet, but he cancelled for genuine reasons. He started getting embarrassed about not having his own place, a car, and not much privacy, and started to seem sad and eventually stopped talking to me. I tried to talk a few months later and chased him off because I still really liked him. Leave people alone. I wasn't stalkerish, creepy, or toxic. No one ever thinks that they are stalkery, creepy, or toxic. But I still managed to deter him. Yeah, because he's given you a clear sign and you're not taking it. I've tried dating apps for a while with not the best results. I like alternative/emo dudes. Probably like a year later, got bummed out and sent a sort of fine. Whenever people are like, this is my final message, this is the final time I'm going to go, it's never fucking the final time. It's never the last time. Like, I've done been in a situation with a guy that I've been known for like, or I used to know since like 15 years ago or something like that, still fucking messages me like, oh, this is the last time, I'm not going to contact you again, this is the final. I have not replied in literal fucking years, and they're still on my case. Bitch. Anyway. The final, hey, sorry, I'll leave you alone. But well, you're not leaving me alone. That's clearly bullshit. Why even bother saying I'll leave you alone? Your actions are clearly showing that you're not willing to leave me alone. I liked your values, etc. He read it and never responded, of course. I've had a hard time getting past it because he was so perfect and we clicked so well. I haven't had any connections, anything like him. How can I get past him? It's been hurting me and I messed up and I can't get past it. I don't think I can do anything else. I already looked desperate. Any suggestions, please? Yeah, leave him the fuck alone. He, for whatever reason, whether it is due to him like being a little bit insecure in himself, or just not liking you, or not being in the kind of place where he wants to take on a relationship or get to know you any better, that's his personal decision. That's his right. Don't fucking chase. What was it you said? I chased him off. Yeah, you fucking chased him off because you were literally like fucking, not literally, but you know what I mean? You were metaphorically fucking running after the guy. And like, how long ago? I talked to him a few months later, like months later. You're still like trying to chase after. No. Leave people alone. How can I get past him? Do you know, I think at some point in everybody's life they're going to be in a situation where they like someone and for whatever reason it didn't turn out well, and then for a while after they're like, oh, but I'm still yearning, I still like, oh, I'm bummed out, that would have been good, like that's a shame. Completely understand it, completely get it, but it's then how you respond, the way you behave, how you act after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be very easy for me to say, yeah, just get over it, but that's not helpful. But, you know, time does go on. Like, things get better over time. And if you stop obsessing over this person and be like, oh, but things were so perfect, like, you shared the same values and blah, blah. Obviously, you don't share all of the same values because you think it's okay to keep contacting this guy, and he clearly doesn't, or else he would have messaged you back. He's not responded because he's not fucking interested in talking to you. Leave him alone. Okay? Focus on your damn self. I think that if you're the type of person who's gonna, like, get so obsessive over someone like this, you're not ready to be with someone. Work on yourself, sort out your own issues, figure out what is it you're looking for in another person, not in terms of like, oh, they have these values, they look like this, they talk like this, whatever. I mean, like, what is it that you feel like you are missing in your life? Start giving that to yourself, and then the rest will follow. Do you know what I mean? That's my advice. Okay, last one. Is it weird if a guy doesn't call? Not necessarily. Curious to hear men and women's opinions. I've been dating a guy for about 10 months now. He's great, and maybe it's just me, but I think it's weird that he hasn't called me once in the 10 months we've been dating. Nah, that's fine. He did say I love you last week. He's not the most romantic, but also the other week I mentioned something about rings that I can't remember, but I do remember him following it up with. So when people ask why I haven't proposed after 5 years, I'll say that you don't like rings, which I thought was a weird comment. It was clearly a joke. That's a joke. I love rings, lol, I wear rings. Maybe I'm overanalyzing things as I tend to do, but just curious to hear people's thoughts. I haven't dated in so long. You've been with this guy for 10 months. So I'm trying to navigate through things and become more of a secure person in general. So is it weird if a guy doesn't call? No, he fucking told you that he loves you. And you're like hung up about the fact that he hasn't called you on the phone in 10 months. Some people don't like to make phone calls. Sometimes it's not convenient for people. Sometimes people just don't fucking think about it. He told you he loves you. It's fine. Okay? Calm down. Oh my god, see all this like, yeah, you acknowledge that you're overanalyzing and that you need to be more secure in general, so I'm not going to have a go at you for that. You're aware that it's totally fine. It would be, what would be different is if he said he was going to call and then he didn't. That wouldn't be cool. I'm not up for that. But you haven't said anything about that, so nah, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's all good, man. Alright, that's all I have for us today. What did you think about these posts? Do you have any other advice that you want to share? Do you completely disagree with what I'm saying? Are you the fucking stalkery type? People never think they're the stalky creepy type, right? But yeah, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Feel free to watch some of my other videos if you want to. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye, bye bye.